happening in the world right now, I'd like to pass on some information how you can stop a virus in its tracks by using the virus energy point on your body. Now, I learned how to be a healer around 20 years ago. I went to a seminar, and I thank Arthur Newman for holding that seminar. It changed my life completely. This course, it's free on my website, energyfield.com.au, and very powerful. I've been able to clear Bell's palsy twice. That's the one where half the face doesn't work. The other eye's blinking, this one isn't. Toxoplasmosis, that's parasites on the brain, and you can get that from a scratch from an infected cat or infected cat litter. So that's quite a few of them. Haemophilia, the blood one, Ross River fever, Lyme's disease. Even at a gentleman, I gave him healing at the markets. His wife was very intuitive and found out I could do energy balancing, and her husband had cancer and she wanted me to give him a clearing, so I did. And he never went near any medical staff, and about 3 years later he came back on holidays to thank me for clearing his cancer. But here's the thing, I only done about 5%, his mind done the rest. And so I'd like to ask you a question now. Why do you think Aristotle said, if you're not your own doctor, you're a fool? Just think about that for a moment. If you're not your own doctor, you're a fool. I've asked a few people and got some funny answers. Popular one was, oh, doctors can make mistakes, and well, we all make mistakes. But I really believe that it was because he knew the power of your mind. And that's why this will work for some people and other people it won't. In our society there seems to be a fence, and on this side of the fence you have people that have like an open mind. They investigate, ask questions, and they believe in natural remedies. They don't believe in taking drugs. And I got absolutely nothing against the medical profession. They do a fantastic job. The only thing is there has never been a drug that doesn't have a side effect, and that can be detrimental to your health. Fixing one thing and not the other. And on this side of the fence you have people, and I'll give you an example from Deepak Chopra's teachings. He gives an example of two ladies go to the doctor and they're both diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer, only got 6 months to live. One lady goes away and turns it into the outcome because she's given her mind over to the doctor. And some people give it to the government. They believe every single thing they hear on the news or read in the newspapers. And sometimes it's not quite right. Whereas the other lady in the example, no way this is happening to me, and she went away and survived. And I actually work with a friend at the markets, a beautiful brave lady who actually had that, and she meditated and cleared herself. So the mind is very powerful. That's why it works for some, doesn't work for others. Okay, before I show you where the energy point is and how to clear it, first of all we have to diagnose and find out if in fact you have got a virus. And the beautiful thing about this modality that Arthur Newman developed is you can't overbalance anyone. How it works, there's 4 ways your body, mind, spirit can get disturbed. Everything has to be in balance. There's poisons, toxins, both self-explanatory, physical damage like you break a leg, and then the big one is emotions. And you can't have a thought or an action, or an interaction, without creating an emotion. So there's only 2 emotions on earth, love and fear. And anything you experience on the love side, your brain makes interleukin-2. That's a very powerful healing drug. So when you're sick, you watch funny movies. And have you ever seen that movie, Patch Adams, the true story of Patch Adams, starring Robin Williams? He made all the kids laugh and they were clearing their own cancers. So, yeah, great movie. On the fear side, your brain makes peptides, not the good ones, the bad ones. They'll go to an organ or gland to give you the experience and they upset energy flow. And if not cleared, well, down the track, other things can develop. For example, say crying is an emotion of the large intestine, and say 20 years ago you had a very bad experience and it upset you and you had the emotion of crying all the time, well, your large intestine wouldn't be working properly. One day it'd be sheep pellets, next day, and in the end you can develop hemorrhoids, things like that. So when you clear little blockages, it stops big things developing. Now, how do we diagnose? Well, we use applied kinesiology or muscle testing. Very accurate, because your conscious mind can lie, but your being can't. And the easiest way I've found is you make 2 circles like that. They're teardrops, don't make teardrops, make circles and interlock them. And there's only one key to this. You, true is strong, false is weak. Now you have to, only one key, you have to think or say what you want to know the answer to at exactly the same time as you do that. I'll give you an example. My name's Bernie, my name's Peter. There you go, it was true, I was weak because my name is not Peter. And I'd done that as I was forming the sentence or forming the thoughts for the sentence, whatever. But at the same time, I'll give you an example when you don't do that. My name is Peter. And I've done it after, it doesn't work, and that's the only mistake we make. So at the same time, and you can do it for food or allergies, anything like that. And I brought this here to show you. This is, I don't like white vinegar and it doesn't like me. So if I was to touch that, I go weak. And another way to do it is if you've got any kids that are small children that are running around like a mad energised bunny, you can actually write their name on a piece of paper and then you can hold the food item and show that, and you'll take on their symptoms and might save a lot of noise in your house. How you do it, you get the piece of paper and you hold the item there, then you get your partner to place one hand there for balance and the other hand, when you hold it out, he puts it on there, and when he says hold, you try and stop him pushing your arm down. So if you do it without the item and you're strong, and you do it with the item and they push your arm down that's weak, then that doesn't like you or the person you're testing it for. When you eat something that's, you might like something, like I've tested a lot of things for people, and for example, sweet potato, the lady didn't test that she liked it, but she loved sweet potato, and I said, well, that's okay, you can eat it, but it can take up to 60% of the energies to deal with it. So that's the way we test, and you can do it with food. I have to test all my clothes because I can't wear polyester, and I had a cotton t-shirt once, and I was going all red in the face, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? And it was the dye in the shirt. The cotton was okay, but it was the dye in the shirt that didn't like me. So that's how we test. Now, when you test for something, you have to clear it completely, you have to find out and clear the emotion associated with that. For example, when you create a fear emotion, they stick with you for basically they're in every muscle, every cell in your body. And say you hurt your elbow, well, they'll camp there and they inhibit healing and the pain persists. So you clear the emotions and bang, everything's good. So let's show you how you do that. Let's move Deb's chair over. The virus energy point is flat of hand on the floating ribs. So at the side on each floating rib. So to test it, you can touch the floating rib. If it goes weak, there's a virus. So to clear it, first thing you do is tap 3 times on your head firmly above the ear, level with the ears. 1, 2, 3. And then you thumb, first finger and second finger in line, not in a circle, in a line. And the middle finger goes on the third eye around the centre of the forehead. And you have the patient can do that. You can put your hands on there. So if I was to do it, say for example, tap, 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 energy point, and get them to put their hand there. And you hold that for about 5 to 10 seconds, give it time to work. Then you test again. And if it's still weak, you've got an emotion. So now we're going to find where it came from. It could be hereditary. So you'd say it was hereditary. Well, you'd say, is it mother's side, father's side, the family tree? And then you count back the generations. Let's say it's the 10th generation back. Is it the grandfather, the grandmother? And then you tap it out. And the tapping script's on my free healing course, energyfield.com.au, that I'll show you in a moment anyway. So you have to track back and find exactly where it came from. And let's, another example, say woman goes weak, and you might say it's your wife, your daughter, grandmother, hereditary, all those. You only run what goes weak, you see. So there's a female neighbour, female co-worker, there we go. So then you'd find out how long ago was it. And let's say it was 1, 2, 3, 5 years ago. And don't try and rethink the emotion. It could have been something very insignificant, but you took it on board and it became part of your psyche. So then you tap that out. You tap out whatever goes weak. Now, if you think you got it all, ask the patient to walk away about at least 20 metres and come back. That allows the body to reset, and if any more emotions come through, well, then you clear them. And so let's look at another one. Let's say it's a woman, but you can't find out anything. We'll check out past, is it present, might be future. And then you count the years. 5 years goes weak, so you'd run that out, you'd tap that out 5 years in the future. And sounds a bit airy-fairy, doesn't it? But it's amazing when you find the emotions and you clear them all, how good you actually feel. I came home from Grafton, a trip quite a while back now, a few years ago, and my left ear, it had all swollen up inside, and you couldn't even put a cotton bud down there. Everything was closed up and swollen up, and so I thought, oh, it's sore left ear. And then I was going through all these emotions, and when I got to the end, the last emotion, it was like you pricked a balloon and all the air went out and everything just went back to normal. So it's very powerful. Look, if you've got any questions or any worries about learning this, you can send me a contact from the website, energyfield.com.au. It's a pleasure to help you. I can diagnose from here if you've got any little things happening. And I do distant healings. I recall one time at the markets one Saturday, a friend went over to Bali for a week, a couple, and she rang a friend and said, go up and see Bernie, see if you can give me a healing. I've come down with something and don't want to ruin my whole holiday. So what we did, I balanced the lady so she was clear, and then we wrote her name on a piece of paper, and then I balanced her again, and the lady texted her in about half an hour later, said, thank Bernie, I feel great. So we're all connected. You can help people at a distance. But look, the life you save may be your own with this, so please pass on, repost this, so people will get a crack at it. Whether they believe it or not doesn't matter. Some will, some won't, and that's their choice. But let's try and get this world back to normal. I miss my golf. I don't want any tears running down here, but yeah, let's get back to normal, guys. Have a great day. Keep smiling.